Geht's euch gut? Who's here for Guild Wars 2? Come on, cheer! Cornelia! There we go. So, meine Stimme ist so gut wie im Eimer, wie ihr vielleicht schon hören könnt. Das heißt, aber ich habe mit mir auf der Bühne Matt Witter, aka Witters. Er ist einer unserer PvP-Designer, der das PvP mitentwickelt. Und er wird das Match hauptsächlich kommentieren. And for people on the stream, as you can hear, my voice is basically shot. So Matt Witters, who is one of our PvP designers, he will do like 99% of the commentary of this match, which is a good thing because he actually knows what he's talking about. So, let me check with both teams. Boon Control, are you ready? Team ArenaNet, are you ready? Okay, go, let's do this. Okay, Matt, take over.
All right, so what we got here is Battle for Kylo. It's going to be a 3-point capture the hill kind of setup. It's the first team to 500. Right now we're seeing the match just kick off. We're waiting for those gates to open to unleash death on the enemy. Now, yesterday what we saw was a lot of splitting by ArenaNet. What would happen was they were sending 2 people out to one capture point. One person was running interference and trying to support the other points whenever needed. It looks right up here. We're going to have a little bit of a combat. We got Lich Form right there. That's Chaplain there, I believe. He's got a bunch of different skills he can use when he's in that form. Fear, you can summon some minions. Of course, general damage. Oh, it looks like there's another Lich in the area now. It looks like they're going to be battling it out over this capture point. And again, the red team is ArenaNet, the blue team is Boon Control. It looks like red team, ArenaNet, has 2 capture points. One of them is still neutral, though.
Tell us a little bit about the general strategy for this map, like the capture points and the trebuchet.
Yeah, there's trebuchet on the map that for each side, basically, where they're able to repair this and they're using it to their advantage. They're able to bring in big, huge fiery boulders from across the map, slamming it into the enemy forces, blowing everybody back, doing massive damage to everybody in the radius. It looks like now the center point's been neutralized, and it looks like ArenaNet has all 3 capture points. Boon Control's over there. They're trying to get back in this here. As you can see, it's pushing 80-0. Little fight here in the clock tower. This is a great place for trebuchets to come in and start slamming into the terrain, blowing everybody back out. But it looks like Boon Control's going to have to back out of there. But ArenaNet is chasing them down. The general strategy is definitely you want to stay mobile. You don't want to be locked down too long, because if you're in combat too long, then you're giving up a lot of time that you can be using to neutralize those capture points or capture those capture points.
So, I mean, it seems like Chap is doing like a great job there on his Necro. So what is the general, if you play a Necro in PvP, like tell me a little bit about like strategies, or like what are the strengths and weaknesses of a necromancer in PvP?
Yeah, with the necro, it's they're very versatile. They're able to inflict a bunch of damage in a lot of conditions, such as poisons or bleeding. They can also have a slight crowd control advantage as well, because they can fear people out, which makes them all run in different directions away from the area. So they can be played as a decent support. But as you can see, he can hold his own pretty good, but that thumper turret there in the center of the capture point is constantly pulsing from time to time, doing damage, potentially a knockback which blows them out of the radius. And it looks like 2 points have now been neutralized, so Boon Control's definitely putting pressure on, and they're starting to defend. It seems like Boon Control they're taking a capture point and they're leaving someone behind to make sure that ArenaNet can't sneak in and take it. I think that it might be a little bit of a struggle here, though, because the Necro does have a lot of different crowd control that they're able to basically just keep him busy.
So considering it's a 5 versus 5 match and you have like 3 capture points on the map, and you also have to keep an eye on the trebuchet, like talk a little bit about like valid tactics or like different approaches that you can do to approach the match?
Well, with this map, there's a lot of different ways you can attack. My favorite way to go at it is I normally send 2 people to the back line, so that way they can kind of interrupt and they can definitely spice things up on the enemy capture points. I send 1 guy to kind of bounce between the 2 capture points, both on the enemy side and in the center point. And if they actually start using their trebuchet and bringing in rain and fire and death, then I send that guy out there to stop that while the other 2 people are maintaining our home capture points. There's just so many different strategies, though, that you've got to adapt, and you've got to really be quick and understand what the enemy's doing at times.
So you mentioned like first team to 500 points wins.
Yes,
What do you get? Where do you get the points for?
Well, you get minimal points for kills. It's really about controlling those 3 areas. Each point is giving you points over time. So when you have 2 of them, it's very easy to get a commanding lead as long as you hold those 2. However, you can easily make it up off of 1 capture point and making sure that you get a lot of kills. So it really just depends on the type of play style and what classes you're bringing to the fight. Yeah, as you can see here, we've got Meteor Shower there. It looks like they're going to try and push up to the center clock tower. I'm not sure if they're going to have enough force to get that. Oh, yeah, there's 2 reds right there. ArenaNet's going to be able to hold this. It looks like they've got a Warrior and a Guardian.
Yeah, especially because Tirza is on that Guardian, right?
Oh, yeah, Tirza.
Tell me a little bit about Tell me a little bit about Guardian in.
Oh, wait, never mind. The boon control's got quite a few people there. They're probably going to be able to wipe ArenaNet out of this area unless they get some help. It looks like a nice 3-on-3 going on there, just begging for a Lich or a Tornado. As you can see, the Guardian put down their shield in the center, which is constantly pushing them out of the radius, which makes it very difficult for anybody to get in there and do any kind of damage to them. Right there, the bubble again. It looks like that was Boon Control's Guardian dropping his elite now, pushing all of the ArenaNet people out of the radius. This capture point has been neutral for the majority of the game now, I'm thinking. That was a Trebuchet that just came in and blasted all of them back again. It looks like, they were able to revive. Here comes, this is just a long, bloody battle in the center. There's a stomp right there. It looks like ArenaNet just finished off one of the Boon Control.
I mean, we don't see the Trebuchet here, but the Trebuchet can have, like, I've seen comments yesterday after our match that people say, like, well, it seems like the Trebuchet is kind of useless, which is actually not the case, right? You might want to correct that.
That is not the case at all. A well-placed Trebuchet shot can just decimate the enemy team. It does that incredible damage, and it blows everybody out of the radius, which, I mean, in this game, it is all about keeping them out of those rings. And if they're able to get in there and neutralize them, you start losing points. The Trebuchet, it's a great splitting mechanic where you cannot clump up and move as one. You have to split in order to control the points and stop them from hitting you with that Trebuchet. It's very important that if the enemy team is using it, you get in there and you stop them from using it. There we go. It looks like Boon Control now has 2 points back on the map. One of them is being contested. Whenever the icons at the top there are blinking with swords, there's definitely some kind of combat going in there. It looks like we got a Warrior here from Boon Control. Oh, but looks like the Necro just teleported out of there. Oh, but the Warrior jumps right back on top of him, and they're gonna have to use Lich Form again to see if he can't get him off. But this is gonna be it for him. He is down. We're gonna have to see if he can get a stomp out of that, though. He's gonna have to hobble away. When you're down, you still have skills you can use to try and bring yourself back into it. If you down an enemy, or if somebody comes by and revives you, there's still a chance that you can get back in the fight.
So it's a viable tactic to basically not finish your opponent off by letting him leaving on the ground?
It's really risky to not finish him off, because if you don't finish him off, it's very easy for an ally to come in and get them right back up on their feet. They have downed abilities where they're able to get back on their feet for a short amount of time to get some distance on you. It's very dangerous. It can pay off because it makes it a longer wait time for them to get back into battle. But as a Warrior, if you're downed and you get Vengeance up, your damage goes through the roof, and you are a killing machine at that point. It is really important to stomp certain classes. Here we can see here another big fight in the middle. There's the Guardian bubble. It's going to push everybody out of it. That looks like a great place for it. As you can see him just lurching forward there. It looks like ArenaNet is actually going to be in trouble. There was a Trebuchet shot right there, knocking them all out. This is going to be a very bloody fight. There's a stomp right there by John Peterson. Oh, but he rallied just in time before the stomp actually fully went off. This is going to be immense. We need another trebuchet shot there, blow them all out. I'm not sure the Warrior's gonna... the Warrior is down, but you got 2 enemies down now. They're just lobbing rocks at each other, waiting for an ally to help them out.
It's looking pretty good for our boys and girls, right? It's looking pretty good for our team at the moment.
ArenaNet is definitely looking like they're going to pull this one through. It is not impossible to come back from this situation. I've seen it a lot of times, especially when they were scrimmaging each other, but I don't know. It really just depends if Boon Control is going to be able to play a defense on all those points that they're able to cap. As you can see, ArenaNet's got 2 at the top, and right now the neutralized one is in the center point.
Yeah, there's 4 points now from winning this first match.
Yeah.
And there we go. ArenaNet won the first match.
Yeah. Now they'll have a couple seconds here to strategize before the next one loads up. As you can see, ArenaNet showing no mercy and just killing whoever that was on Boon Control still.
Yeah, I mean, in all fairness, like, our guys are very competitive, they hate to lose, and they practiced a lot, right? So they have a definite F, but I think Boon Control, like, they gave them a really... We saw it yesterday in the second game, they gave them a really good run for their money, so they will probably adapt now to see how ArenaNet plays. I don't know if they, like, change professions, or... Let me just go over there and have a quick chat with one of the guys. Hey, Jonathan. You were on the Necro the whole time. It seems like you guys pretty much dominated the game. Are you like changing things up for the second match, or do you just do the same?
We might try the same thing. It might not look like it, but these guys are adjusting really quickly. We're calling things and they're adapting so quickly that we have to call something else. And this is just from the games of yesterday. So already they're picking stuff up. So we're going to try something new and see if we can catch them with it.
Okay, I will check with you guys when you're ready. Let's check out with the Boons. Hello, Boon Control. Are you changing things up a little bit for the second game, or do you just like, nah, our tactics work, they just got us on the wrong foot, so any changes that we can expect from you for the second game?
Yeah, the start wasn't right. Like, they countered it pretty good, so we didn't go well. And if you lose on that map, the first fight, you are already way behind. But we tried to get back in and try to give them a good fight.
I'm pretty sure, like yesterday in the second game, you were way, way, way better because you like could read what our guys are doing. So I will check with you guys when you're ready.
Well, with this downtime, it gives them a lot of time to strategize again.
Is ArenaNet ready? Are you guys ready? Are you ready? Just let me know. So, Matt, what do you expect from the second game?
Well, as we saw yesterday, Boon Control was really quick at adapting and learning what ArenaNet was doing. You know, I'm thinking that this is going to be a really close one again. Boon Control has shown in the second game that once they realize what ArenaNet's up to, they're able to play a lot more defensively. And hopefully we'll see a lot more treb shots coming in, a lot more well-placed, which will definitely help them control some of these capture points.
Okay, it seems like the game has started while I was still chatting with the guys. All right, let's see. We're still on the Necro and we're still on the Warrior, so they didn't change anything in terms of professions.
I think Boon Control knows exactly what ArenaNet did, so it's looking like they're going to be able to counter it. As you can see, they're just storming the center right now. They know that that is a very pivotal point to this game. And we got a Lich in the middle of it now, which is going to give a lot of damage and a lot of crowd control in there.
So it seems like, as we can see, Boon Control is doing a similar tactics. Like they put a Guardian there, right in the center. What is the reasoning behind like this tactics of putting that Guardian in that position?
With a Guardian, they're also pretty defensive. They're able to absorb a lot of that damage. As you can see, they're elite. They throw down that big shield, that bubble, and it just bounces everything off. They've also got the ability to put a wall down in front of them, which whenever arrows or fireballs, any kind of projectiles or anything like that, it'll reflect and bounce right back into their face. So a Guardian is very well defended. So you put them in the center point, maybe throw in a Warrior or maybe an Elementalist to put some DPS in there. And the assisting that they can do, it hurts. They put out a lot of damage when the two of them are together. And as you can see now, it looks like there's only 1 point neutralized. And it does like Boon Control is going to be getting it. Oh, but there's a Trev shot right there, as you saw, slamming him down to the ground. This is definitely going to be a close game. As you can see, it looks like Chaplin's here. He's hanging out in the center, probably waiting for anybody trying to take it, because we know that's an important part to have in this match. There's a window breaking right now, which is always fun to do because it opens up a new pathway that you can use to get around the map, so that way it's not the same path. You can always figure out which way you want to go. And if you know that there's enemies there in the center, you're obviously not want to go head on into them because they're well defended and they're well set up.
I mean, that's an important point, right? We haven't mentioned that we have destructible environments in our PvP maps, which opens up new paths. It allows it by crushing down like a roof with a trebuchet. All of a sudden, you have like a new tactics available by using different pathing.
Yeah, there's buildings on the map. As we just saw, there was a window right there that you can kick in the window pretty much and jump on those little crates to get out of that area. We also have small teleport skills where you're able to use those to get out of combat or possibly get into combat a lot quicker and close the gap between you and your enemy, which makes it a lot easier to get into the action. And we also have buildings and pipes. There's just so many things that you can just destroy to open up new ways, to open up new tactics.
It seems like Boon Control really learned from the last game, right? This is a really close one, and they're actually in the lead, so it seems like they learned the lessons out of the last match.
Yeah, Boon Control is doing a great job of taking those points, and it looks like they're leaving something or someone behind, basically, to constantly scare off ArenaNet. They're going to have to probably counter it by grouping up a little bit more, putting down some more Trev shots in more strategic areas. As you can see right now, it's 104 to Boon Control's 124. But there's still 1 point neutralized, but it looks like it is being contested. It looks like that there is fighting in it. As you can see over here on this monitor, it looks like there's 2 Boon Controls versus 1 ArenaNet. And that looks like it is going to not end too good. Oh, no, there's 2 ArenaNets now, but it looks like they're going to be taking one of them down. And if they get the stomp on it, then that one ArenaNet is either going to have to run or fight to the death. It looks like it's not going to end well for him if he doesn't get out of there. They're trying to stomp him, but the thing about stomping is it's difficult to do when another enemy's in the area because they'll fear you away, they'll knock you down. You know, there's so many things they can do to interrupt that long duration stomp. As you can see here, there's a standard there. It's going to be giving buffs to all of his allies. We've got Shade Form here, which gives the Necro a little bit more survivability, but you're trading out a lot of damage for that. So it's really only used in certain situations where you think that it's going to buy you that time for your allies to get up close and help you out. Oh, here's a Lich Form here. You can see him using his abilities. He's got a Fear, he's got some damage. You can also summon some minions, which will give him a lot of burst, but his health is dropping quick. They are cutting him down. It's probably not going to end too well for the Lich. Oh, it's close. So now if he gets downed, if he's dead, then the downed enemy will actually be able to rally. Oh, but it didn't work out too good for Boon Control there. So 2 points are now neutralized with 1 point under control by Boon Control.
Tell me, what is this like that we see on the screen, like on the right side? Is the statistics on top of the...
On top of the screen?
No, on the right side.
Oh, the right side, we've got some kill spam, basically. It's letting you know who's killed by who and how they did it, so that way you can kind of keep track of your allies to let you know who's still in the fight. Obviously, when one of your allies is down, it's quickly changed from a 5-on-5 to a 5-on-4, which is just a huge advantage in a setup like this. Yeah, as you can see, it looks like ArenaNet is trying to powerhouse the center. I'm not sure if that's going to really pay off for them, though, because while they're doing this, Boon Control is going to be able to sneak around the sides and get the 2 outmost capture points, which is a very wise move to do, because now they've basically taken 2 points while ArenaNet is still being kept busy in the center. But it looks like that this fight is still going on here. It looks like there's 3 Boon Control in there with 2 Arena. There's a stomp, it looked like. Looks like one of the ArenaNet team is down, which means Chaplin is going to have to run, but there's a little teleport to get out of danger. He's probably going to make it out of there A-OK, but now he's out of the fight and not getting any points out of it when you got to run. So right now it looks like Boon Control has 1 point, ArenaNet has 1, with the red team's closest capture point is now 2 points have been contested. ArenaNet's holding the center, it looks like, but it is 1 Guardian against 3 or 4 Boon Control. There's a Trebuchet shot blowing him out of the radius, which can almost give enough time to neutralize that point and stop any kind of points that ArenaNet's actually starting to generate. It looks like Boon Control is doing a great job of staying mobile and not dedicated. They're making sure that once they've got one person down, they start moving around again to make sure that there's no tie-ups, there's no contesting for long periods of time, which will give them a great advantage if they can keep doing that. Very close game, 250 to 284. Boon Control's currently in the lead here. It looks like that Thumper turret, though. You've definitely got to take that out. It's got some hit points and it's got minimal damage, but it's really that blast radius where it's knocking you back constantly. It gets really aggravating. It makes it really hard to hold these capture points with constantly getting knocked out of the ring. ArenaNet now is holding 2 of the capture points. Boon Control's got 1, but they're still managing to stay ahead. It is possible to stay ahead with just 1 capture point. You're able to do it based off of kills, but kills again are very minimal points, so you've really got to be a killing machine.
So we talked about that it's 500 points. Team that gets 500 first is the winner. Is there, like, if the match is continuing for a long time, is there like a time limit as well?
Yes, there is a time limit. These matches start out at 15 minutes right now. As you can see above the 3 capture point markers up here, they show the time left in the game, and it will default to whoever has the most points at that time. I'm not thinking that's going to be the case in this game, though. This game is pretty bloody and close, but one of them is going to reach 500.
This is now the first time that ArenaNet actually got the lead, so let's see if the Boons can react and fight back.
I've seen Boon Control come back from a few close calls before, so this is definitely not over yet at all. As you can see, ArenaNet has 1 capture point. 2 of them have been neutralized now. ArenaNet is pulling ahead, though. There's a Lich right there, it looks like. He's going to try and distract him, but as you can see, his health is very low. If he gets stomped, it could be very, very bad for ArenaNet, because that could cost them more damage, more support. As you can see, the Lich form just ran out right there. He's going to try and get some health off and just get out of there to make sure that Boon Control doesn't take him out. It's better to live and fight another day than to die right there on the field in this situation.
That's very deep.
So he's going to have to back out there and choose his fight wisely, though. He's got to be careful, because when you chase, you're leaving your capture point open to the enemy. And not only that, the enemy could be leading you into more enemies. And if that ever happens, then it's a bad situation to put yourself into. You start losing points and you start, getting more deaths on your team, and that never ends good. Very close game. As you can see, the center point is still owned by ArenaNet, but it is contested. It looks like Boon Control's really trying to push hard. There's a lot more neutral capture points in this game. I'm not sure if that's Boon Control running in there and neutralizing them, and then ArenaNet showing up just in time to stop it, or if there's any other kind of tactics or strategy involved in that. As you can see, Chaplin's here. He's going to try and help defend the center point here. It's definitely become a really hot zone. It's really a pivotal point of the game. So if Boon Control's able to get in there and really stop them from holding on to that point for a long time, they will definitely come back into this.
And here they come. At least there's 1 of them. There's 2 of them.
This will be a fight right here. This will be pretty interesting. So as you can see right there, there's a plague, it looked like, running around. It's constantly diseasing and just giving all sorts of horrible conditions. You never want to hang out with a plague. That's always ended bad.
It seems like the Boons came in full force. I see at least 4 of them at the center spot.
It looks like at this point, though, ArenaNet has that capture point now, so their goal isn't really at this point to kill Boon Control. It's more to just waste their time, to keep them in that area, because the longer they're staying in that capture point, the less time that they're going to have to go get their own points in the game. However, once Boon Control realizes that ArenaNet's doing that, it's going to be pretty easy for them to call in more support, and you'll see more Boon Control come in here, and they'll wipe them. Oh, it looks like Chaplin's down now. It looks like if the Boone Control is able to get a stomp, it looks like he managed to get a little bit of distance, which looks like he might just be left to bleed out, which is going to take a while. He's just going to go ahead and sacrifice himself there and just wait out the respawn. Now he's got to run back into the action, though, so it's a hard choice because we don't want to leave the player to bleed out. We want to give them the choice just to end it right then and there so they can get back in the respawn. However, when you do that, though, you still got to run that distance. So you really need to be sure that there's no allies around you that are going to help you get back up on your feet, because you could cost yourself a lot of support and a lot of damage doing that. It looks like Boone Control's going on top of the roof of the clock tower. It gives you a nice sight of the entire map. You can see where everybody's at, where all the points are, what ArenaNet's doing. It's very easy to pick your fights that way too. If you see one guy breaking off solo, you know that you can send a couple of people there and just wipe the floor with him.
It seems like Cap is... And yeah, Chap just captured the clock tower and evaded the trebuchet shot that was coming in.
Yeah, it looks like ArenaNet has the clock tower. He had to leave, though. It looked like there was a couple of Boone Controls still in there. But it looks like they're chasing him down. 483 to 436. This is going to be a very close game.
Yeah, this can still go both ways, right? So
as you can see, you've got Izzy here. He's a beast most of the time. He's very, very difficult to kill. A lot of the times, whenever I've fought these guys, I find that it's better just to wait for the 2-on-1s, because a 1-on-1 is just going to take way too long with how some of these guys can play defensively. There we can see Boone Control kind of grouping up a little bit, making sure that they take that center point. I'm sure they're probably going to leave some defense behind, 1 or 2 people maybe to distract them.
Like 2 points, 1 point.
Oh, it's almost over.
ArenaNet
wins. Takes it one more time.
But
very
they
close
definitely
game.
gave them a run for their money, right? This was like a really close game.
Very close game. As you can see, they're not done yet. They're still fighting and making sure that they leave their mark.
Enemy captured the windmill.
All right, Matt, thank you very much.
Oh, anytime.
For moderating.
We're directly in the back over here for anyone else that wants to try out PvP. We've got a demo of it going right now.
Und vielen Dank an euch alle, dass ihr hier wart. Noch viel Spaß auf der Messe und tschüss.